sunlight spilled through the curtains of Miss Lily Banvr Warnes' small cedar cottage in Everbrook. The air was crisp with the scent of blooming lilacs that lined her backyard fence, and the hum of cicadas pulsed softly beyond the window. Lily, a 24-year-old spiritual advisor and part-time writer, sat slouched at her oak desk staring at a blank page on her typewriter. Her latest article for Spirit Current magazine was due in 3 days. The title she'd scribbled on her notepad read, "Messages of Light, the Language of the Sun," but her mind was as clouded as a stormy sky. "Come on, Ra," she murmured, pressing her palms together. "You've never failed me before." Lily had been fascinated with the Egyptian sun god Ra ever since her teenage years. She believed the sun held consciousness, a radiant being that could whisper wisdom into those who dared to gaze upon it with reverence. Most called her eccentric. Her small circle of spiritual clients called her Lily the Sungazer. After a moment of silent frustration, she pushed away from the desk. "Fine," she sighed. "If the sun won't come to me, I'll go to it." She slipped into a flowing white linen dress, tied her auburn hair into a loose braid, and stepped barefoot out onto her back patio. The morning sun was low but warm, its golden rays pooling across the dewy grass. She closed her eyes, inhaled deeply, and faced east. The first few seconds of sun gazing were gentle, like standing before a living flame that recognized her. She began her usual mantra softly under her breath. "Ra, great light of the cosmos, illuminate my path. Let your fire be my muse, your rays my guidance." A calmness descended. The sounds of Everbrook faded. The passing cars, the barking dogs, even the distant chatter of her neighbors' kids, all melted into stillness. As her eyes adjusted, the sunlight seemed to shimmer in ways it hadn't before. Gold deepened into amber, amber into a molten orange glow that danced with a rhythm of its own. She blinked, yet the after-image remained, a bright disk that pulsed like a heartbeat. Then came the warmth. Not just on her skin, but within her chest. A voice, not spoken but felt, bloomed in her thoughts. "You seek words, but words are the shadow of light. You must feel before you write." Her heart fluttered. "Ra," she whispered aloud, "you write of illumination, yet you fear your own brightness. Why dim yourself with doubt?" Tears welled in her eyes. She had spent so long second-guessing herself, wondering if her writing, her teachings, even her beliefs were foolish in the eyes of others. Now, standing under the sun's golden gaze, it felt as though she was being seen for the first time. The air shimmered around her. In her mind's eye, she saw shapes forming, a golden chariot soaring across a field of stars, wheels made of flame, and a radiant figure guiding it. The sun wasn't just a ball of fire. It was a consciousness that pulsed with creation itself. The vision deepened. She saw rivers turning to threads of light, plants breathing golden mist, people walking in radiant harmony with one another. And above them all, the sun smiled. When Lily opened her eyes again, the world seemed sharper, more alive. Each leaf on the lilac bushes glowed with a faint inner hue. Even the shadows seemed filled with quiet light. She sat cross-legged on the patio, notebook in hand, and began to write furiously. Words flowed as if they had been waiting at the edges of her mind all along. Open quote. "The sun is not a god to be worshipped, but a teacher to be understood. Its language is warmth, its message is growth, and its lesson, everlasting renewal. When we fear to shine, we betray the divine spark within us. We are all small suns, orbiting the vastness of the great light." Close quote. The typewriter clicked for the next 2 hours without pause. By noon, she had her full article, more radiant, more heartfelt than anything she had ever written. She leaned back, smiling through tears of gratitude. "Thank you, Ra," she said softly. "You've never failed me." Later that evening, as the orange horizon dimmed into a soft lilac dusk, Lily lit a single candle on her desk and reread her finished work. A subtle warmth brushed her cheek, though the sun had long set. It felt like a whisper of approval. And from that night onward, every time she wrote about light, she could feel the sun smiling through her words, guiding her not as a distant deity, but as an eternal companion in her creative soul.